been a little while since I did one of these videos, but I'm getting ready for work and I figured I would just film it a little bit. This dog out here is driving me insane. They won't stop barking. I'm hoping that you can just either not hear it or that you can ignore it. Let's move on. So I'm getting ready for one of my last shifts at Morphe. If you've been following me for a little bit, actually, I don't remember the last time whether I specified this or not, but I work at Morphe Cosmetics. It's a makeup brand, if you're not familiar with it. But after 3 years, I am leaving my job. I have a new full-time job working at Banfield Pet Hospital as a CSC, which is a client service coordinator. And I really like it. But unfortunately, it means that I'm not able to continue with my job at Morphe because it's just too time-consuming to have a full-time job and a part-time job, especially ones that are not coinciding with each other. I've worked multiple jobs before, but they were retail jobs, and the hours just lined up better with working multiple retail jobs as opposed to essentially a full-time office job and a retail job, because with Banfield I work from 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, so there's really just no room to do split shifts with the hours provided in a retail job. I haven't been explaining anything that I'm doing, but I'm doing my skincare. My skin's been really dry because it's starting to get cold here. So I'm trying to keep up on my skincare, but it's really difficult when you have to be up at 5 o'clock every morning and when you're going to bed at like 9 o'clock at night, or trying to at least. I'm sure it's not surprising to anyone that I don't sleep very well. I'm sure you can tell by my eyes. But I feel like most, maybe not most, but a lot of the people in the ASMR community probably have trouble sleeping. I think that's why most of us got into it, either making videos or watching them. Although I do know that there are some people within the community who don't experience ASMR at all, but they make videos anyway. And I always found that very interesting. I think one in particular, and I don't know how serious he was. As soon as I say who I'm talking about, you'll know, but Danny Docile did a video a couple years ago, actually probably several years ago at this point. It was like a fake interview kind of thing. Oh, I have a hair stuck to my lip balm. And he said in the interview that he doesn't experience ASMR himself. And I always wondered whether that was for the sake of the video or if he really doesn't experience ASMR. Because I found that interesting that you would start making videos without ever having experienced it yourself. Like what the motivation behind that was. And I know that he's like absolutely insane and unhinged in the best ways. I love Danny Docile. So it's very possible that he just found it like funny or interesting on like a different level. My skin still feels really dry. I've been messing with some new skincare lately because the brand that I really like, this brand actually, hold on. Oh, where did it go? There it is. This brand, Bad Habit, Morphe sold this brand. They also, so Morphe's owned under Forma, which is, they kind of, like the creators of Morphe created Forma as like the umbrella company for brands like Morphe, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, Rem Beauty, Playa Hair Care, and Bad Habit Skincare. They also had a vitamin brand. Oh, and now there's a new body care brand that's not good. And I can say that now because I'm no longer going to be working for the company, but the body care is terrible. But I really liked the skincare, and I used it for a lot of my routine. I should be doing my makeup. Oh man, I'm gonna have such a hard time finding stuff. But they discontinued the skincare brand, so I've been trying to find alternatives in the meantime. This is the Rem Beauty primer. I was gonna say skincare, which there kind of is skincare with Rem Beauty. If you're not familiar with it, Rem Beauty is created by Ariana Grande, and I really didn't think that I was gonna like this brand. It just didn't really seem to be stuff that I would be interested in, but I'm actually really obsessed with a lot of the products. The primer is so nice. It feels like skincare, and it does have, I can't remember off the top of my head the different things that are in it. I look really bad in this lighting. The different things that are in it that are like more skincare based, like the ingredients. But it just feels so nice on the skin. It's really hard to describe the feeling of it, but it has this like cool, wet feel to it as you're putting it on. I am looking for, I was looking for this. I like tore apart my overnight bag trying to find that. Okay, I'm glad that I have that, because I honestly thought that I left it at the hotel I was staying in. Oh, come on. Sorry, I still have a lot of my makeup in like an overnight like travel case. Oh, other side note, because I've been working so much, and if you see glimpses of my room in the background, it's a mess right now. I don't want to talk about it because it's really bad. I did work on it a little bit last night, but my room's always an absolute disaster, so it's gonna take more than just one quick cleanup to fix it. I'm having some storage problems at the moment because I have too much stuff, and I've been steadily working on decluttering and getting rid of all of my stuff. Not all of it, but you know what I mean. This is the Rem Beauty Under Eye Balm, by the way, and it just, every time I look at this container, I want to eat it. It just looks like, it reminds me, I think because the packaging's like a little bit, actually the packaging's clear, it's really more the product that's almost like that frosty look, but it reminds me of those, do you remember those, like frosted bouncy balls? And I feel like everybody that knows what these are knows what I'm talking about, but you had to bite them. Like, maybe it was just me, I don't know, but I feel like I've seen other people talk about it. They had such a fun texture, and they would just kind of break apart, and I would bite them. But that's what this reminds me of. I just want to... Okay. Now that I've embarrassed myself. My foundation should have been in here. Because I did my makeup since I've been home, but maybe I put it back in here. I have this terrible habit when I pack an overnight bag. I did, it's in here. I have this terrible habit when I pack my makeup away that, sorry, my chair's creaking. When I come back, I tend to just keep, like, I'll take this out and then just throw it back into the bag when I really should be putting it back where it belongs now that I'm home. Alright, I'm using a beauty blender, which I usually don't use, but, I don't know, my skin's been so dry, I feel like I want to add some more moisture into my routine. So this is a damp beauty blender, and I'm using the Morphe Tinted Moisturizer. I don't like a lot of coverage with my makeup. I tend to have, not to brag, I tend to have pretty good skin, so I don't really feel the need to like put a ton of foundation on my face. But I have been experimenting with using fuller coverage products in targeted areas. I'm reminded every time I use a beauty blender why I don't like using a beauty blender. Like, I put so much product on the back of my hand, and it's just not, it's not covering my face the way that it should. Usually with this tinted moisturizer I use my hands, Yeah, that's just not enough product, but I don't know, maybe it's fine. I think I'll leave it for now because I'm going to be adding full covered products in a minute anyway. Okay, so concealer, using the Rum Beauty Pot Concealer, which this is what I mean when I say I really didn't expect to like the Rum Beauty products as much as I do, because I hate pot concealers. They are one of my least favorite. I'm just grabbing this so there's no mirror in this. Pot concealers are one of my least favorite concealers because they tend to be very thick and dry, but also like too creamy, and they settle into lines. But this one like dries down perfectly, especially when I use it with that balm underneath. And it's just such a good shade match. It's really difficult for me to find like concealer and foundation that are pink enough because my skin tone's very pink. Everything tends to come off very yellow, but it's just perfect. And it's light enough without being like too bright. This is not the most sanitary way to be putting this on. When you have a pot concealer, I don't recommend using your fingers, especially if you're somebody who does makeup on other people and uses like those products. But I just do it on myself, and I only do my makeup really after I've showered, so my hands are clean, so I don't worry about it. My hands are really hot right now. But see, look how like big of an improvement that is already. It doesn't really look it in this light. I don't know why I'm getting like a weird like shadow from my lighting, but whatever. You guys aren't really here for that. Kind of just here to relax, huh? Okay, let's see if I can find... Of course I can't. That's really frustrating. Okay, I'll just use one of my brushes. So I have a super dark shade in the Rem Concealer. This is shade Rich 9C. I grabbed the wrong one, I think. I thought I was supposed to grab 8N, but whatever. I take a little bit of that on this very small brush. Let's see if I can find it. Again, I really should have put it away. I actually might have. Hold on. The other thing that doesn't help is that I can't see when I'm doing my makeup because I'm blind. No, I didn't put it away. Okay, so it must be in here. Unless I just stupidly dropped it to the floor, which is a possibility. Oh, I see it. Okay. So I use this little brush that is crooked right now, and I take just a little bit of the darker concealer. The Rem Beauty concealer has an amazing shade range, by the way. It's 60 shades. It's currently the highest amount of shades. Like it's the brand that has the most amount of shade, the biggest shade range of concealers on the market currently. But I take that really deep color and I mix it with my concealer color to get my contour color. Oof, that's a little dark. It's fine. It blends out pretty well, actually. I contour the hell out of my jaw because I have such a double chin. It's interesting that you can't see at all what I'm doing. If I can tilt my head back enough, I do like little lines down. And I'm sure the brush that I need is in here. It does blend out well, but I don't like to let it sit for too long. And then I just take this fluffy brush. I said fluffy, but it's kind of more of a dense brush. It's a contour brush. And just blend out that contour. I wanted to say concealer, which it is, but it's also a contour. We're supposed to be doing e-girl makeup today, which I'm debating whether I actually want to do or not. We're doing this whole like Halloween makeup series, theme weekends at Morphe right now, but I don't usually like to participate, to be honest. Even when Morphe was like my whole life, I didn't really like to participate. Actually, I need a brush that's in here, don't I? I am not finding it. I might just use this brush anyway. The reason I don't really like to participate in the theme weekends is that for me it feels like it kind of limits my creativity when it comes to makeup. I do makeup based on what is inspiring me in the moment, and having a theme kind of like given to me, I don't really work well that way. It sounds, oh, I'm taking a little bit of a full coverage foundation. This is the Morphe Filter Effect foundation, and just going underneath my contour. But it sounds a little bit pretentious the way that I talk about makeup and it inspiring me and everything, but it really is an art form to me. I don't actually particularly like wearing makeup. If it were up to me, well, this is half true. If it were up to me, I would do my makeup and then immediately take it off. I would take pictures and take it off. And the reason it's a half truth is because I do like the attention that I get from it, of going out in public and people saying like, oh my god, your makeup looks amazing. Like, I know. But I don't really like the sensation of wearing makeup. My eyes are very sensitive. My skin, like I said, I have pretty good skin, so I don't usually like to have it like really covered up or anything. Just adding a little bit more coverage and brightness in the center of my face right now with that fuller coverage foundation. And I'm gonna take my sponge again and just kind of like sink that into my skin a little bit more. But this just kind of helps to define my contour a little bit more. I really wish that the lighting wasn't so bad. I don't really know what's going on with that, because this is the same kind of lighting that I'd use for my TikTok videos. I say that like it's something revolutionary. It's natural daylight coming in from the window behind you. Okay. Oh, I need setting spray. This is the Jaclyn Hill setting spray. And then also just kind of patting that in with my sponge. And then I really gotta set my under eyes because I'm sure it's already creasing. I also look very pale in this light right now, but I'm sure that the black shirt and black jewelry are not helping those matters. Hold on. So this is a bit awkward, but I can't see that well, so I keep leaning in to check my makeup, and you're getting a lovely view of the top of my head. So I'm sorry, that might happen a couple of times, but this angle is also just a little bit better. I currently have my mirror basically between my legs right now. So, okay, I have to do my eyebrows, and I don't know if this is a good one. Yes, it is. Okay. I had an eyebrow pencil that was like basically completely run down. Oh, wait, no. I have to set my under eyes first. and an eyebrow pencil that was basically completely run down that I kept picking up by accident. Whoa, that's open. So this is the Kimchi Beauty loose setting powder. I'm using Morphe's little powder puff and puffing that under my eyes. I don't set my whole face with powder because my skin is just too dry for that, but I do crease terribly underneath my eyes. So I make sure that that is nice and powdered. I also should put on my not my under eye, eyelid primer. Although I don't know how much makeup I'm doing today, to be honest. I considered just doing some eyeliner and maybe like an eyeliner heart and calling it quits on the whole e-girl thing, because I don't really feel like it. I did the e-girl thing, like it's already been done for me, so I'm kind of over it. Not really interested in it anymore. And then this is the Jaclyn sheer setting powder, or sheer face powder. I don't know that she calls this a setting powder. And I'm just using that underneath my contour to brighten that area. This has like a hint of shimmer to it, so it gives a really nice brightness. Without making the area look too powdery. Okay. I like Jaclyn Hill's packaging a lot. Speaking of, I think I am going to do some bronzer today just because I feel like I'm looking really pale. I don't use bronzer a lot. I think I use it even less than most makeup artists do. Because I usually like looking pretty pale, but ever since I dyed my hair, I feel like I just need a little bit more warmth to my face because my hair is so warm. But I take a lot of pride in my skin being as pale as it is because I use a lot of SPF. Usually, I can't find mine right now, which is why I didn't use it today. Don't judge me. But that's actually why I don't really like to use bronzer or like anything to darken my skin, because I don't know, I take a sense of pride in the fact that my skin is as pale as it is because it means that I take good care of it, you know? There are some people who find that looking pale makes them look sickly, but I think it makes me look healthy. And that's not to diss on anyone who likes to use bronzer or likes to tan. I mean, it's not really very good for your skin, but as far as people who use like self tanner and things like that, if that's what makes you feel beautiful, like, I'd go for it. I just like looking like a marshmallow. Okay. I need blush so badly. I actually want to experiment. What did I do the other day? Was it in this? It was. I used this color, this eyeshadow, as a blush, and it was really pretty, but I didn't have any foundation on or anything, so I want to try it again. This could go bad so quickly. Just really lightly tapping that on and just building it up real slowly. Because it's an eyeshadow and not a blush, this could get over pigmented so fast. Now I feel like I'm whispering so I don't scare the blush. I love this color, but it's just going on so patchy because it's not a blush. I mean, it doesn't look bad. There's a mirror on this, but I never took the thing off of it. Hello. I almost feel like I'm not using the right brush for this. It's a really nice color though. I really like a very like clean beauty kind of look. So I've been experimenting with like, not experimenting, but trying to find better blush colors that are more natural. Because so many of my blushes are so like pink, very pink or very coral or peach, and I just want more of those like natural skin-like tones in my makeup. And I think that's better. The shape of it wasn't really working. It was clinging to the wrong places. Alright, I'm going to try with this brush on the other side now. This is also a Morphe brush. The other one was as well. But this is more of a C-shaped brush. And this is one of the rose gold brushes, which I used to hate, but they kind of had like a little bit of a revamp of them recently. And now I really like them. See, that's too much. And that's what I was worried about. Ah! Okay, so we're just gonna buff. Yikes. Okay. Let's try and go over that with a little bit of the chalking powder. I used to do this trick all the time when I used Ben Nye makeup, where I would put too much blush on. So I would just go over it with a powder that had a bit of color to it, like a bit of skin tone color to it. Because it was almost like I was putting skin over the blush. Okay, I mean, it's pretty strong, but I actually don't hate it. It's making me want to amp up the other side a little bit. I think I'm going to. Very tiny bit. Just a little bit of a firmer hand on this side. Okay, and then a little blush on my nose. A lot of blush on my nose. Oops. I'm sorry if the palette sounds are loud. It does look like a lot of blush, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do, there I go, putting the brush back in the bag. What I'm going to do is take this Rem Beauty highlight stick. Actually, you know, before I do that, I'm going to just take my concealer shade real quick. And just a little bit on my finger. And just dot the end of my nose. And blend. And the bridge of my nose. Just like that. That kind of helped to tone down the blush a little bit too. I haven't done anything to my eyes yet. What time is it? Ha! I'm really running out of time. I have like about 20 minutes or so. Just taking that Rem Beauty highlight stick. And this is meant to be for underneath the brows, but it's a multi-use stick. You're supposed to be able to use it as like an eyeshadow stick, under the brows as a highlight. I've really been liking using it as like a really subtle highlight. But I think I'm gonna do that a little bit later. I just kind of wanted to get my nose situated. All right. I have to be really careful because I have the black version of the Morphe eyeshadow primer, and the amount of times that I've gone to put the regular one on my eyes and it's the black one far too many times. Okay. I like to prime my eyes a bit differently than I think most people do. I use what I call a barrier primer. So something like the first one that I used to use was the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer, and now I use Morphe's. It kind of provides that barrier between the oils in your skin and whatever you're putting on top of it. Kind of prevents it from breaking down your makeup, creasing, separating. But I find that when I use primers like this, there's not enough grip to my skin because it kind of smooths everything over, kind of fills in those lines. So to compensate for that, I put a creamy base. So I like to use the P. Louise base, which I'll be using in a minute, as that sort of grip primer, so that the eyeshadow has something to stick to when I go to put it on. But for now, we're going to struggle with doing my eyebrows when I can barely see. Which I'm afraid I'm going to be pretty quiet during this. It's not really possible to talk when your hand is resting right next to your mouth. I'm actually considering it might be easier if I pause. Hold on. Okay, I'm quite glad that I paused because I actually wound up having a little bit of a sneezing fit. Oh, now I'm just taking a tinted brow gel through the front of my brows, and I do still need a mirror. But that sneezing fit means I'm probably not doing anything on my eyes because now they won't stop watering. Which is just as well because I really don't feel like doing anything on my eyes. But that's fine because it's probably going to be a slow day at work, and that means I can have one of my coworkers do a look on me, which would be really fun. I actually really like when we do stuff like that. Okay. So I am just going to go back with that highlight stick, and I'm actually curious how much product there is in here. Okay, there's a decent amount. I wasn't going to be surprised with as much as I've been using it if I was running low. But I'm just taking that highlight stick. Did you hear my Discord notification? Just taking that highlight stick wherever the light naturally hits. I'm actually gonna... no, I'm gonna do that last. When I was getting ready for my nonprofit event, I sprayed my face with my setting spray and then put this on. And it kind of worked a little bit better, but it also didn't. I felt like it was harder to get any pigment off of the crayon or stick or whatever you want to call this. I am not happy with my bangs today. But it was just gliding over the skin easier because my skin was wet. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on like this and then give my face a spritz. And then go in again. And just use my finger to kind of like pat that in. I might do a little bit under the eyebrow. I never do that. But I feel like it's kind of all blending into each other. Okay, same thing on the other side. I hate setting spray. I really like that setting spray, but I hate setting spray. It just is so jarring to have something just like spraying in your face. I wish I could use the Morphe setting mist, the continuous mist, because it's such a fine mist. It's beautiful, but I am allergic to cucumbers, so therefore I cannot. Alright, and this is completely pointless because with my eyes watering, this is just going to disappear, but just putting a little bit of that highlight stick on the inner corner of my eye. I really wish I could do mascara, but aside from the whole eyes watering thing, if I am having one of my coworkers do makeup on me later, I don't want them to have to deal with working around mascara. Alright, last thing. Oh, where's the last one? Oh, here we go. So, I'm a little late to this game. I know that I am, but the NYX Milky Glosses, I'm obsessed. So this is, I'm using all three of these because I'm insane, and I like to overcomplicate things. So this is Cherry Skimmed. Actually, you know what? I can put my glasses on, and I'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. even though my glasses are a little dirty right now. What isn't in my life? I feel like my foundation always like kind of gathers around the top of my mouth. I don't like that. Alright, so this is cherry skimmed. And I'm putting that all over my lips. I can't believe this video was 35 minutes long and I didn't even do anything on my eyes. Alright, and then I'm taking Mixed Berry Shake. This is one of the new ones. So these are flavored, scented, whatever you want to call them. Concentrating that closer to the inside of my lips. Mixing that up. Add a little more. So pretty. And then lastly, ouch, taking Malt Shake, which is this beautiful, beautiful, like deep red and really close to the inside of my lips. And using this sparingly. And then I kind of almost teardrop it down the center of my lips. I'm just really softly kind of painting it on the inside of my lips. It's so overcomplicated for no reason because it's just a glossy lip, but it looks so pretty. And it's not hard, it's just using 3 different products. It's so pretty. I really like these glosses. If you haven't tried them, I really recommend them. I also realized that almost this whole time my dad's been on a conference call in the next room, so you probably could hear that. So sorry, this was kind of a fail, but I hope that you enjoyed the video anyway. My eyes are really watering, oh my gosh. Anyway, so while I have you guys here, a couple of updates. I don't know how much I've talked about this in previous videos. I probably should know this, but if I haven't mentioned it before, hi, I'm trans. I'm gender fluid, non-binary, kind of a mix of those two. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I recently changed my name, not legally, because that's expensive, and I don't think that my parents are quite there yet, because on that note, I recently came out to my parents, but my name is Aros, so it's nice to meet you. I go by Ro, which I may have mentioned in previous videos. I've been going by Ro for quite a few years now, like maybe like 4 or 5. But yeah, I recently came out to my parents and it went pretty well. But you know, there's still always an adjustment period, so I don't want to come right out of the gate with changing my name while they're still kind of adjusting. So I just go by that name in my own social circles, at work, at both jobs currently. But I pretty much, I go by Ro. It's been my name, like I said, for the past 5 years. I actually chose the name Aros as an extension of Ro. Something just hit my window. Anyway, so yeah, in case you didn't know that. So yes, please use those pronouns for me going forward. I would really appreciate it. If there's anything that you would like to see in specific from my channel, please feel free to leave suggestions. I know that I don't really post all that often. But I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good one.